I used to think of my life as a rap star. I used to think of my life as a trap star.
Hey, and welcome back to Emlyn in the Mix, where we discuss things all music technology, software and hardware, recording gear, studio gear, instruments, and more. If you love that sort of thing, then you're going to love the Emlyn in the Mix podcast. Now, let's get on with the show with your host, yours truly, Emlyn. Hey, and welcome back to the Emlyn in the Mix podcast, season 4, episode 3. I hope you've had an amazing week, whatever you've been doing out there, and I hope you've just been getting stuck into your music, because for most of us it is, or has been, holiday season. A lot of you are probably back at work right now, but we bring this podcast to you on a weekly basis to keep you inspired, up to date, and feeling creative in the world of music gear, music technology, software and hardware. You know the drill. If you're brand new here, thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully from hearing that little intro there, you know what this podcast is about. It is the start of 2023, and there has already been quite a lot of products announced, software and even hardware, amazingly, which we're going to get to on the podcast today. Now, if you've come here to just watch the overview, or just a quick little overview of valves by E Instruments and Native Instruments, I'll have a timeline down below. You can skip along to that. But yeah, if you've wound up here and you're like, hey, I'm just here to see valves, what's going on? Well, we've got some really cool music technology, software and hardware to look at, so stick around if you're interested in that. Otherwise, hit that timeline down below. Full disclosure, we'll have an affiliate link for valves as well, so shout outs to Native Instruments and E Instruments for letting us look at valves today, and affiliate link down below. If you like valves, if you need valves, click that link. If you're loving what you hear today, I'm not going to do a massive deep dive. In fact, I don't need to. It's a very easy instrument to use, as you're going to see, to get the results that you want, and there's some pretty phenomenal results. But before, let's just get stuck into the actual news that's happened in this last week. All right, so Arturia dropped MiniFreak V, which is a twinned algorithmic soft synth version of their MiniFreak, which they've also got the MicroFreak. So they got the two iterations in hardware form. MiniFreak V is an experimental virtual instrument fusing digital voices with modeled analog filters, spontaneous modulation, and playing sequences, unleashing endless sweet spots between familiar and unheard order and chaos. Beauty and Beast, set your wildest sonic creations free, as they're touting it here. And yeah, I mean, it is literally this very popular piece of hardware now popped into software, which is interesting because we see a lot of these music software companies making emulations of their legacy hardware, for example. But because this isn't really, I wasn't expecting anything like this, because this isn't a legacy piece of hardware right now. Like, this is an in piece of hardware. They dropped the MiniFreak, the actual hardware, at the end of last year. So it's a brand new, and it's like getting 10 out of 10s and stuff, that little software, that hardware synth. So for them to release a software emulation of that in such a short amount of time is very interesting indeed. So yeah, it comes packed with a bunch of presets. Let's have a quick listen here. Let's listen to a sequence. Let's see if it is chaotic and glitchy, as they're saying here. I can't even read what this says. Raquam, maybe? Racdom? All right, let's just play it back here. A simple sequence brought to life with each note from a different oscillator type. That's cool. Actually, that demo does give you a pretty good idea of how you can push the sonic possibilities of this software emulation, the MiniFreak V by Arturia, sounding really cool, like just sort of going through different oscillators and waves as it goes through that sequence and sounding really glitchy and big. Let's have a listen to one more because I'm curious. Let's listen to pads here. Fill and embellish your mixes with lush, sprawling, dreamlike ambience. Let's have a look here. Wow. I gotta hand it to Arturia. They are pushing the boundaries here, and what a fantastic way to start the year with a full hybrid synthesizer power. Now look at this, you can directly into your DAW. Bridging the gap between hardware and software doesn't just mean getting the beast, best of both worlds. I really wish it said beast there. They used beast before, so I got beast in my mind here. So you can surpass hardware limitations, I guess they're talking about the MiniFreak, by firing up multiple instances in your DAW, well of course, and automating parameters and having total flexibility over the Freak's sound without committing to audio, and enjoy a soft synth that has a tactility of hardware instrument, the rich hybrid response of digital engines and analog filters, and the expressive features of a polyphonic performance keyboard. Now, all this sounds freaking amazing, and it's amazing they've popped this in the software form. I'm curious to know whether the hardware connects with it, and I can't see that here. It is possible, but I think this is just a standalone. Just from looking at the promo here, this is just a standalone. A mirror image, here we go. MiniFreak and MiniFreak V don't just look alike, their correction goes deeper. Here we go. Whatever your style, whatever your project, MiniFreak V gives you the best of both worlds. Enjoy the tactility of hardware, the flexibility of software, or whatever balance of both that works for you. So sync to hardware. Here we go. Use your MiniFreak keyboard and control the tweak and play its VST companion in perfect sync. That's amazing they did that. Letting you interact with your DAW projects in real time without committing to audio. Okay, this means this is fantastic. For those of you who are lucky enough to have a MiniFreak, because apparently they're sold out here where I'm from in Australia. I'm sure that they're on a ship coming in now. But we are out of MiniFreaks basically. They're a very popular synthesizer. And the fact that this software is going to perfectly sync up with the hardware is going to perfectly sync up with the software. That's what I like to hear. That is amazing. It becomes a dedicated controller. That's exciting. Really, kudos to Arturia. This is a very good drop for the start of the year. All right, let's move along. Another piece of pretty exciting technology software, music software here, comes to us from Serato. Now, I did want to point, I don't know if I mentioned this at the start of the podcast, I did want to point out that this time of year right now, if you remember, used to be around now, probably in the next few days, NAMM. What is NAMM, you ask? Well, NAMM still exists, but it just exists at a different time of the year, and I think it's a bit cut down or watered back or something like that. Watered back. That is a new phrase. I just made that up. Go check it out right now on Google. Check if that is an actual phrase. But anyway, you get my drift. They essentially diminished, or it diminished, became smaller, and it does still exist. But NAMM is a convention where new music technology, software and hardware is shown off, or music gear is shown to the masses at Anaheim, or in Anaheim, California. But it's not on right now. So I'm curious as to whether the music software companies and hardware companies right now are just dropping at this time of year because they're used to the cycle to bring out new software and hardware at this time of year to get their investors excited before the end of the financial year and the start of the next financial year. Because I think that the way that NAMM was placed in the year was kind of perfect for showcasing what each company was going to bring to the foray at the start of a year. It kind of worked perfectly, and then they can get investors on board and so forth. This is just me analyzing the situation. I could be completely wrong, and maybe that the move to NAMM in June, I think it is now, or July, maybe that works better. But anyway, you've got Music Mess, you've got all these other ones that are coming very soon. There's that other one I forget about. It's like the synth something or other. You can leave a comment down below if you're even listening to me right now. I'm just rambling, but there's a synth and something. It's in, anyway, I'm terrible with these convention names. I always forget them, but there is a big one coming actually soon. It's February or March or something like that. Anyway, I totally digress. I hope whatever I was rambling on about then made sense. What I'm trying to get to is that there's been a hell of a lot of drops for the start of this year. For usually this time of year, it's very relaxing. There's not much going on. There's not many drops. Like even the product that we're looking at today, Valves, I mean, that was a surprise drop at the start of the year to have an instrument like that get released. I dare say a lot of these music instruments got delayed in the pandemic, and now we're seeing the fruition of all the labor of these music companies. Okay, totally digress. Let's get on with Serato. So Serato have introduced stems into Serato Studio. So stems got released into their DJ software by Serato, and now it's in Serato Studio. So if you have Serato Studio, this is a free update. What is it exactly? It's pretty amazing. It basically lets you rip out, this is good for remixing, lets you rip out certain elements of a song so that you can hear them back in real time, and then you can sample in real time. Like it's all supposedly in real time, which is very good. I'm yet to check this out. I have a full license to Serato Studio, and I did download this, but I was so busy yesterday, I didn't even get a time to check this out. But I'm going to just give you a quick demo here off their website, which is pretty good, by the way. Amazing technology. We're going to probably start seeing this in all the different doors now, I can imagine. Like you're going to start seeing it Ableton Live. The next update, they're going to have something similar. Logic Pro will follow suit. FL Studio, I'm sure. All the big players in the DAW world are going to do this now. In fact, I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here, but there is a piece of software I'm looking at right now. I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about it, if I'm embargoed or not. But anyway, it is similar to do with this technology I'm about to show you, but it is mind-blowing. Like it is next level, basically. So this technology, more or less, is heavily getting invested in and looked into at the moment. It's sort of like the future of music. But let me show you what it does. So unrivaled sampling power studios, seamless all-in-one audio separation workflow allows you to effortlessly experiment with newly unlocked sounds to create entirely new high-quality masterpieces. It's sampling that sounds so great, it needs to be heard to be believed. All right, let me show you. So here's the sample here. All right, we've just got drums. So this is essentially be able to do this in real time. Or we have singing, just singing. Here we go. So you can strip out the sections of the song that you want, put the keys back in. Or just have the keys, no vocal. So if you wanted to just sample this part, or you just want to sample the bass, or you can just strip it right down to the bass. Isn't that incredible? So this is what you are able to do right now in Serato Studio with the stems, and it's a free update, which is pretty cool. Put the keys in, or maybe you just want bass and vocals, and you want to sample just this. You just want to sample this bit, or you just want that. You just want bass and drums, and then you can make your own new song. Anyway, I know I talked all over that, but I just wanted to give you an example of this is what you can do now in real time with this technology that Serato's obviously worked very hard on and done a very good job, by the way. It made it very super intuitive and easy to use from my understanding. So I will be checking this out, of course, and I will give you a full update on how well it works. Very exciting indeed. Well done to Serato and getting that into Serato Studio very quickly too, by the way, because literally this technology just got released at the end of last year as well. Let's move along to our next piece of news here. UVI have released a new instrument, Quadra Traveler. Get inspired by sounds from around the world. Quadra is a powerful 4-part multi-instrument and sequencer designed ideal for the creations of dynamic, rhythmic, and evolving sequences, utilizing a blend of regional instruments from around the world with a curated selection of synth sounds. Quadra leverages a powerful instrument selection, deep factory library, focused and intuitive workflow, and expressive performance controls to deliver cinematic sound quality and near endless music and inspiration. So we've got a little video here. Hopefully it's a little video, not a massive video. We're about to find out. Here we go. Amazing stuff there. So you sort of got an idea of how this instrument's going to sound. Essentially world music. I mean, if you're writing music for documentaries or that sort of thing, this would be perfect. Even if you're not doing that, you're just sort of making music in this style or genre, you are going to be treated very nicely by UVI here, because UVI go to town. Being that it's UVI, they absolutely go to town with their instruments, putting everything in them. You saw in that, if you're watching the video here on Spotify or YouTube, you saw in that video, that studio there with all the different instruments, guitars, and they're probably not even called guitars, but you know, you got world drums, different types of ethnic instruments here. You know it's going to be good. And that room, I assure you, that would be UVI doing their due diligence on getting these instruments sampled perfectly by getting authentic instruments to make it sound amazing. We're going to do a deep dive on the channel with this. We'll check this instrument out, and not on today's podcast, of course, but this looks really cool. So well done to UVI getting an instrument out there at the start of the year, as I told you. Now, I can't read this next page that I pulled up here. If you are one of my German listeners, then you can probably see this and read it straight away. But essentially, I know what this is because it comes from an email. Waldorf have released a new piece of hardware, and I can't see it here on the website, but they actually released the Quantum Mark II. Now, if we jump over to the Quantum, and I don't know why this page is in German, because that makes it very hard for me. In fact, the whole website's in German, and I don't understand. Like, it should recognize that. Anyway. But anyway, the Mark II is here. Here it is here. I think we got a picture of it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it, because this design looks like the Mark II. Anyway, Mark II got released. It's got updated onboard memory. I think it's 60 gigabytes now. And they've just done some little... the main thing, sorry, and we cannot skip this. I can't read it. Obviously, it's in German. But the main thing is they've added the FATA keyboard, which has aftertouch. And it's a FATA keyboard, which is essentially, it's the best type of keyboard in the world at the moment. So you're going to get a super high quality keyboard by FATA, and you've got extra memory on board, essentially being able to save your own presets and so forth. But, you know, being that it's a Quantum, it's going to sound amazing, of course. If you've ever heard these synthesizers before, they essentially have recreated or revived synth hardware world. Amazing stuff. I definitely want to check it out here, but unfortunately I can't read it here, and I'm sure that there's a setting to turn it to English, but because I can't read it, then I don't know how to do it. But I just wanted to let you guys know. There's, new hardware. See, that's what I'm saying. If NAMM 2023 was happening right now, this would definitely be there. This is not a cheap synthesizer by any means, by the way, but do check it out if you are interested in having one of the one of the world's most sought after synthesizers right now. I would say definitely. And it's got that beautiful big screen. In fact, that was the other thing they said, is the screen, the touch screen had been updated as well to have better response. And anyway, all round Mark II, it's going to be a better product. And I think it's limited. Don't quote me on that. All right, let's move along. Another piece of hardware that got dropped, of course, by our boys and girls at Roland. dropping the GP3 digital piano. So if you ever wanted to have, like a baby grand or even just a grand piano in your house, but you can't because they're just too massive and in fact way too expensive, the GP3 is your solution. Check this out. Make your home grand. The GP3 is the most compact and affordable grand in the acclaimed GP series, bringing your premium piano performance in a unique, low-profile design that makes a statement in any living space. Roland's modern features and benefits are infused throughout, from the organic piano sound engine and responsive hammer action keyboard to onboard recording, Bluetooth audio MIDI connectivity, which is cool. You can play along to your favorite songs off your phone, and deep integration with the Roland piano app. So if you've always wanted to learn how to play the piano or wanted a grand piano, but thought you didn't have the space or budget to make it happen, the GP3 turns your dreams into reality. There it is, compact elegance for modern living. I thought this was cool. If you want to learn the piano, you want to play the piano, or you wanted a grand piano but you just don't have the space or the money for it, this is a solution. Check out the GP3. Roland dropping this. I know they've got other digital pianos, but you know it's going to be good. The Roland, actually, I don't know if this is a new keyboard, but I have played their digital pianos before. And in fact, I had one here for a couple of years. I was looking after one for a friend. It wasn't this model, but the keyboard is so good. Like the hammer-like action is so good. Like when you get down to those low notes, it feels so realistic. I don't know how they do it, but it feels really realistic. And I'm sure that this is no different. Check out the GP3 if that interests you. All right, let's get along here to our main feature for today. And we're just gonna play with this. We're just gonna have a bit of fun. It is valves. Thank you for joining me today. If this is what you wanted to see, then we are here. And I'm gonna show you valves. What is valves? A brand new instrument by E Instruments, released by Native Instruments, or it's a collaboration with Native Instruments and E Instruments. Anyway, what is valves? Instant emotive brass. So easily create evolving brass textures from a single note or chord, and uniquely created ensemble for a warm, mellow sound. French horn, flugel horn, I'm probably butchering this, I'm so sorry. Euphonium, I'm not a brass player, okay? Trombone and tuba. This is kind of perfect. This instrument is perfect for someone who has no idea about brass as well, like me, okay? And you want that sound, but you have no idea how it works. Then I am your perfect candidate right now. And I'm hoping some of my listeners out there, I mean, I'm sure that some of my listeners can actually play properly an instrument, a brass instrument. But even if you do, you will appreciate this. You will appreciate this. And even if you don't, you will appreciate this. So discover 100 preset phrases, each with 3 variations, or you can build your own and design your sound with full mix control and dedicated slots for creative FX. So let me just play a little demo back here. The reason why I wanted to feature this on the podcast today is this instrument sounds very, very good, of course, because it's sampled brass. But not only that, it's just the way they did it, because even if you sample like brass instruments and stuff and you put it in like, you know, your keyboard, you play your MIDI keyboard, you can never really get it to sound realistic. But because this has the evolving sort of brass being played, you'll see what I mean in a second when we go to the live demo. You can make it sound very realistic is what I'm getting at. Now, link's going to be down below too. I want to mention this now as well. If you have skipped to here, link down below, which is an affiliate link. If you're loving what you see today, please click the link below and go out and get yourself valves if you need it. Because yes, that's if you need the sound, of course. Because let's have a listen. Let's go to the demo. Here we go. That's incredible. That's what I was saying, like, this sounds like you've actually got a real player there. So the way that they've done this is just amazing. So intimate brass for contemporary productions instantly create interweaving, evolving brass phrases from a single note or chord, all professionally performed. Here we go. Expertly arranged and recorded together for a truly authentic sound. Valves features a unique modern ensemble of brass instruments carefully created for soft, rich textures and ideally suited to a wide range of genres. That is true. I've always wanted brass, actually, not in every song, but I've always wanted some brass. In fact, I remember there's a song I made. I wanted to have a full saxophone solo in it. I do know, actually, I don't know personally, but I do know of some very, very good saxophone players here in the city of my city. But yeah, I mean, this is cool, as you could hear from that demo. So let's just jump along to, let's go over to my live here. Here we go. And I've got it up here. So Valves only works in the Kontakt 7 player, so you do need the latest iteration of Kontakt, but hopefully that's not a huge barrier for you, because isn't there I know there's a Kontakt demo. I don't know if Kontakt 7 comes as a demo. Anywho, so I've got Valves loaded here, and I've got to just preset up here. So you got your different, if you jump over to your presets here, so you got your full section, small section. You actually can choose. You want a full section or do you just want a small section? But for the sake of this video, we'll just do all. You can actually choose the timing too. So that's the performance that gets played on each note. Let's do 4/4. And then you can do performance as like basic, atmospheric, calm, legato, pulsating, rhythmic, percussive, complex, and up at the bottom. Let's check out rhythmic, and there's nothing under 4/4 in rhythmic. That's interesting. Okay, so maybe we go, maybe it's this preset. Maybe this particular preset doesn't have it, because I can go through the different presets here. Trio largo, straight up, wet. Here we go, atmospheric. All right, so we've got atmospheric, 4/4, wet. Let's have a look. And these are the presets it comes up with. Let's check out Calm C here. Now, because it's evolving and playing, and it has a wet reverb effects on it, it's awesome. It actually, you know how like when you if you play a sampled instrument on the MIDI controller, it doesn't sound real when you move from each note to note, but if you listen to this, it's a very smooth transition because you've actually got an evolving, changing playing sound. See? It's amazing. And you can play like chords and double notes and stuff, so you can get some sort of different sections. How good does it sound? And then you've got this little slidey thing down here, which lets you sort of slide between the different performances. So if I move it to the left here, and you'll actually see the background changes as well. I'm not kind of sure how that correlates yet. Haven't worked that out. But for example, we can have it over on A here. It's going to change the sort of the different performances that each instrument is doing in this particular preset. And in this particular preset, if you look, we've got a tuba, we've got a euphonium. I don't even know what a euphonium is. This is how bad I am with brass. I don't know what a euphonium is. I should probably look that up. Trombone. I have an idea. French horn. I think it's that tiny one, and the flugelhorn. Anyway, I've changed the performances here. Let's have a listen. Actually, what I'll do as I play, I'll slide from A, B, C, so just so you can hear the performances changing in real time. Okay, here we go. Actually, what's cool about what I was doing there is you could automate that in your DAW, digital audio workstation, in your DAW. Sorry, I'm just being an idiot. You could automate that in your DAW, the software you use to record music. Okay, I'm just being silly. And it gives it a more realistic sound because the performances are changing. So you could automate that slidey thing that I was just playing with there. And the performances are changing as you change each key, and it makes it sound even more realistic. And the other cool thing here, we'll go through some more presets in a sec, but you got character and dynamics over here as well, which you can change, just sort of get a bit more character out of those instruments. And depending where the performance is. And you can turn your dynamics down as well, so it's just changes your velocity more or less. Sounds really good. You've also got a random and a re-trigger down the bottom here. Random essentially just totally randomizes it. Here we go. We're gonna have different performances. I think we're still in calm C. Yeah, so we've still got that wet, but we've randomized the performances. Bit of percussion sort of sound. Still got the same instruments. Nice. Ah, really nice indeed. Let's do another random. That was actually pretty good. How good does it sound? It doesn't even sound like, you wouldn't even think, like, I don't understand brass and horns and that, and you wouldn't even know that I don't know how to play that. But if you put that in a song, it sounds so good, so realistic. The re-trigger button sort of like holds the automation of the performance as well, so you sort of get these really nice long, I don't know, it sounds really cool. Like, let's do another random. So like I've randomized the performances again, and we re-trigger it. So nice. I haven't even shown you the other presets. Before I do show you just a couple more presets, and we'll have to end the podcast here. If we jump over to here, you can actually see the performance in real time. So it actually shows you, like, so you can see the performance happening, going through the sequence. And I guess, I don't know if you can change it here, but if we hit random, you can actually see how it's getting affected. Like the French horn's got like a ramp up thing now. So it'll come in at the end of this sequence. I guess I can click on each. Here we go. So I can see, and I can even add what I want to add, a staccato here. Look at that. How cool is that? So I can actually change, I guess I can change it here too. Look, I can delete, and then I can add whatever you want. Add a decrescendo. Don't listen to me, guys. I'm terrible with these names. So the flugelhorn sort of having a quick attack and then a slow decay into the third bar of the sequence. And you can see the tuba's doing something else, you know? So I guess I can just delete sections if I don't like it, and then just add whatever I want to add. Like, what do we got? Waves. What's that? Let's add that. So the tuba's doing different stuff. That's cool. Like, yeah, so if you wanted to get down into the nitty-gritty of totally changing the sequence, you can do it here. This is very cool indeed. And of course, when I hit random again, it's like a mariachi band. Honestly, this has to be the best brass horns instrument I've ever had. I don't know if there's other better ones on the market. To be honest, I haven't really gone out and searched, but I mean, I have got other brass instruments or brass emulations. They are nothing compared to this. Sounds like the real deal. I wasn't planning to do the podcast this long, by the way. It's so good. I just want to quickly just show you. You've got your effects sends, FX, main effects at the back end here, just on these little 3. So you can get right in there and change the reverb time or volume, for example. Turn the tape delay off. Actually, it's adding quite a lot of character, those effects. I suppose that's part of this preset. If I change my preset here, I wonder if it's going to change all my audio. Yeah, it did change my performances. I guess to suit the preset that we're pulling up, dynamic swells. So we got this big dynamic swell here. I like the percussive stuff though. So if we jump back over here, get rid of atmospheric and basic, rhythmic. Here we go. This will be all that sort of stuff. Really fun indeed, guys. Look, I'm gonna have to leave it there, but hopefully I gave you enough of a taste, enough of an overview. Wow, so good. Valves by Native Instruments, and Native Instruments collaboration here, but Instruments on the back end putting this together. Well done to both of those. Affiliate link down below. It has an intro price right now if you do manage to hit this podcast, or you see this video in time for the introductory price and you manage to snap that up. You got nothing to lose if you want this, by the way. You got nothing to lose to click that link and support the channel here if you've enjoyed the podcast and video on valves. Literally, it's awesome. If you need this, that's the thing. Like, are you going to use this in productions? If you are, if you need brass, then yes, 100% go out and get yourself this today, because damn, sounds good. Link down below. All right, guys, that's it for the podcast today. What did you think of it? I know it was a bit of a short and sweet. It ended up going pretty long, but there's been some pretty cool announcements. I've gone on digressions and, you know, me rambling. That's why we started the podcast. That's what it's all about. But let me know what you think about Arturia Mini V. Are you going to get that? Do you like that? Does it sound good? We'll try and check it out on the channel. Do you have Serato Studio? Is stems for you? Do you want to be able to remix in real time, pulling out the stems of each track so you can do crazy remixes? Quadra Traveler. Do you want to see me do a video on this? Are you going to get Quadra Traveler? Is this something that interests you? And Quantum Mark II. Let me know down below if you're going to be picking one of these up, because I'm going to come over to your house and I'm going to go play that, because I can't afford it here on the channel. Damn, I'd love to get one of these. Roland GP3, do you need a piano? Is this for you? And let me know what you thought of valves, because honestly, I'm smitten on valves. This is one hell of a very good instrument. I don't know how many views or listens we're going to get in the podcast here. I don't know how many people are actually interested in brass instruments, but I got to tell you, this is one of the best. It's not even an emulation. I was going to say emulation. It's not an emulation. Sampled instrument, Kontakt 7, but they have done a great job. This is what more sampled libraries should probably do, I would say, to make it easier for like a MIDI controlled person such as myself to be able to make things sound realistic, because this is the way to do it. So kudos to those guys. And thank you for joining me. We'll be back next week. I'll be rambling again, talking about some cool music gear, music technology, software, hardware news. You know the drill. Thank you so much for joining me. Peace out. Boo. Hey, Thanks for listening to the Emlyn in the Mix podcast. Here you will find all the latest in music technology, software and hardware, interviews and more. Also, don't forget to check out the Emlyn in the Mix YouTube channel today. Till next time, keep it real.